I'm super excited today to get to show you all the basic steps that you need to do before you actually paint. The whole process of painting your furniture, from the minute you get it in your door to the next step and then all the way into the finish. Clean your furniture well, even before you sand it. You do not want to sand your furniture down while it's dirty because that's going to grind that dirt right down into the surface of the wood. The product that I use is by Dixie Belle and it is called White Lightning, and this is mixed in with warm water in a spray bottle. Go back and I'm going to spray it all over my piece. I'm going to spray it very liberally, and I'm going to take either a cotton cloth or a paper towel, whatever you have, and you're going to go back and you're going to wipe it down. But once you wipe it off and it starts being clean and you don't see any dirt coming off, you know you're good to go. So you're going to take your water last and you're going to go back and you're going to mist all over it again. The reason you're doing this is because White Lightning is a powerful cleaner actually, and it will remove a lot of stuff. But take the water, spray it down, wipe it off, wipe it clean, do it a couple of times, remove all of that residual leftover from the cleaner, let it dry, and then you're ready to go to your next step. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back, and because I'm painting it white, I'm gonna use a product called Boss, okay? Boss is a stain blocker and it stops bleed through. It comes in a white and it comes in a clear. Since I'm painting it white, I'm gonna go ahead and use this Boss in the white just to kind of base coat the whole thing. That way I don't have to worry about any bleed throughs. Boss is also great for blocking odors. So if you have a really stinky piece and you wanna get it to smelling better, just put a coat of Boss on it and it's gonna be fine. I'm gonna take the Boss. I have stirred it well, and the brush that I like to apply Boss with is called the Mini. This is one of my favorite brushes, and new brushes by Dixie Belle, and I really love it. It's just a good standard, good brush just for painting anything. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put one coat of the Boss on. It's super easy to put on and it covers pretty well. I let this dry overnight. The color that I chose today is by Dixie Belle and it's called Cotton. It is a true white, and I love this so much. I think it's gonna be perfect on this little bookshelf. So we're gonna take the cotton and I'm gonna give it a quick shake. This is chalk mineral paint from Dixie Belle, and you don't need to stir it. You know, a lot of paints, they tell you to take a stick and you stir it. I don't stir, I just shake it up. It works perfectly this way. So give it a good shake, mix it well, and then go ahead. I like to tap it a little bit to kind of get the paint down off of the lid, just my little tip. And before I start painting, I always like to dampen my brush slightly, and that allows the products not to absorb so much into the paintbrush, and it just kind of helps it glide across. So I'll give it a quick spritz. Take a little bit of the cotton, doesn't take much, and we're gonna go ahead and start painting over the whole surface. Okay, I've allowed the paint to dry. I put one coat of the cotton on and went back to inspect it, and it's really pretty good. The coverage is good. There's a couple of spots that it didn't get really good, so I went back with my paintbrush with the same color and I just painted over those spots. I didn't repaint the whole thing, just the areas that needed a little extra coverage, and I think that's fine. We are ready to put a top coat on, but before we do that, let me just say that with Dixie Belle Chalk Mineral Paint, you do not have to use a sealer. The only reason I'm using a sealer on this is because this is going to be something that's used in an infant's room or the twin boys, and I can just imagine the boys crawling up on this as they get older. So I'm going to protect it with a top coat, and what I've chosen is Dixie Belle's Top Coat. This one is a clear coat, is satin. It also comes in a matte and it comes in a gloss, but I think for satin, I think it's going to be just the right amount of sheen, and it's super easy to apply. So I stirred this gently, and then I'm going to go ahead and open it up, and we're going to use the same brush that we applied the Boss and the paint, and now we're going to do it with the same brush because I love the mini brush. The top coat is pretty thick. I don't know if you can see this. It is like, look, it doesn't drip. It's like thick, okay? This has a different consistency than most top coats. It's not watery. It's going to stick on your brush. See, it's not going to drip and come off. So, and it doesn't take a lot. And when you apply it, you're going to immediately see the difference, and you're going to feel the difference in the top coat because it's going to glide on. So I'm going to take it and just go across in long strokes. What you need to remember about this is that you don't want to overwork it. You want to start from one corner, work your way across, smooth it out, and then stop. go to your next section. Put a little more on your brush, come back over, all the way across. Just a nice thin coat. You're gonna do this all over the piece, and you're gonna do it in sections, and you're not gonna go back and overwork it, okay? So just a nice thin coat, and then I'm gonna leave it. Once you've completed the whole piece, you're gonna let it dry. It takes about an hour to dry. This doesn't dry like super fast like the paint does, but it does dry. Once you come back and you inspect it, you're gonna notice, because we're using the satin, you're gonna see a little bit of difference in the sheen, which I like. It's gonna give it kind of a buffed finish. Almost like, when I say buffed, almost like if you've ever waxed a piece of furniture and you kind of buffed it, it kind of gives it a little bit of buff look, I guess, for better words. Inspect your piece once it dries, get it in the light and see it. And sometimes you can see where you missed a little streak, and that's not the end of the world. I promise you can fix that. Once it's dry, go back with the brush, go back over only on those spots and let it dry. It should be fine. It'll look beautiful. If you want to put a second coat on it, you can, but you need to let it thoroughly dry before you put your second coat on. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up this piece and put this Dixie Belle Top Coat on, this satin, and then when it dries, I'm gonna get it all staged for you and set up, and I'm gonna show you how pretty this really is. Look how pretty this finish is. Just a nice, soft, buff look. Really a great look on this white piece of furniture. I really, really like the way this turned out. It's so cool. Hey, thanks for joining me with my basic steps in furniture painting and walking through this with me. This is so much fun, and I think anybody can do it. And if you've never painted a piece of furniture before, don't be afraid to pick it up and just go with it. Dixie Belle has great products, and there's no reason you can't master this look with any piece that you do.